What's going on, guys? So I'm editing this video and I realized I never really introduced this machine or shared any backstory on it. So this is a 1977 John Deere 750 Bulldozer. My dad's best friend bought this machine in 1993. He used it for a small excavating business and used it on larger earth moving jobs, and he had this contract where he'd dredge out a lake every couple years. So this machine's been parked for 10 to 15 years. It was parked because the water pump was leaking pretty badly. So my dad took the water pump off of it, and that was probably 10 years ago, and it's kind of been sitting ever since. The owner's son put the water pump back on probably 3 or 4 years ago, and they didn't run it or try to get it going or anything. They just put the pump back on it, just because it was sitting in their shop. But anyway, this dozer's, I don't want to say sentimental, but it's kind of important to me because I spent some time on this with my dad as a kid, and I always liked this machine. It was always, to me, it was always cool because it was huge. When you're a little kid, this thing's massive. I mean, it's obviously not a D8 or D10 or anything wild like that, but it's a big dozer, especially when you're only about this tall. So I asked my dad's buddy about it, and he said that he'd sell it to me because he don't need it anymore, and came up with a price, and well, here it is. It's in our shop. So you're going to see me draining some fuel out of the lines because it had some moisture in it, and we don't want to pump that through the system. And there's some other little repairs. I'll try to add captions here and there. There's something that's unclear, but for the most part, I try to do a good job of explaining what I'm fixing. So hope you stick around and enjoy the video. Get the fuel lines loose. Blow some air back through them. Oh, I guess it's gonna blow out this way actually. I pressurized the tank because I already blew the return out, so must be pressure in the tank. Let's go take the lid off of that. Alright, got our pre-filter here. Fuel filter. My dad's buddy had this in stock. He's owned this machine since 1993. So these are pretty easy to change. Just push in on that. You push on this tab, it unlocks like that. Oh, okay, I'm not gonna be able to show you guys this. I need both hands. So we got this filter changed, but I got the fuel shut off right now, but it seems to be leaking still. So I think the O-rings are just dried up on this new filter. So I got a new one at home. We'll have to change that, but this should be good enough to get us going. Turns out the filter was just bad. Riding around in a truck for so long, it's cracked or came unglued. Got a filter on, not leaking anymore. Primed our fuel system up. Almost died. It's all good. Let's try and free some of this up. Got her all freed up. Try and get this line off here. Make sure we got good fuel up to the injection pump. Looks like we do. You know, I'm a bonehead. This is the return line. The feed line's down in the center of the pump. Duh. Anyway. So this is the, I guess the starter solenoid for that 750 dozer. It's not contacting power from here to here. It shoots the Bendix out fine, but doesn't put power through. So I'm gonna take the top off here and see there's probably some sort of arcing or corrosion in there that it's like a disc in there that contacts these 2 points. Because we were able to get it cranked over, but gotta fix this. So you see there's corrosion in there. We just gotta clean all these contacts up. So what will happen is this copper disc here will get pushed upward. And what it does is it's basically like putting a direct bar across these two contacts. These contacts are where your hot lead comes in, and the other one goes to the motor on the starter. So while it's pushing that up, it's also pushing out a rod for the Bendix, and that engages the starter gear to your ring gear. So I'm gonna just clean this corrosion here up, and mainly this is our problem here. We gotta clean that off and put it back together, and it should be good to go. There we have it, all back together. We'll see what it does on the machine. All right, got everything bolted back up here and all wired back in properly. Should be ready to see if this thing will fire. But first we're going to change these hydro filters. Look pretty old, and these hydro transmissions are pretty delicate in these machines, so for the cost like 30 bucks we're going to put 2 new ones on. 2 new filters on. Time to add some oil. Supposed to use this John Deere all-weather hydrostatic fluid. That's the closest I could find. Put us right up to level. This line's a little bit sketchy, so just for good measures, we're gonna put that over that. And we're gonna wear some safety glasses when we fire it up. But should be good to fire this up and see if it moves. Okay. Just a safety. Hard to argue with that. Oh, the blade goes up. Does it go forward? Go backwards. We got forward. All right, working back on this old girl. So we got her home here, and I haven't done anything to it since it's been home. The other day I was running down towards the hydraulic shop, so I yanked one of these lines that, if they blow, are right in your face off. I mean, this one here is the good one. I mean, the other one was good too, but it had no sheeting left on it, and the metal was actually starting to fray. So I ripped them off and got 2 new ones made. Let's throw one of them on there. Alright, so we're going to throw both of them on there and keep this as a spare. And the guy at the hydraulic shop told me that he couldn't make me 4 lines. I'd have to drop them off and come back. And not really sure why he did that, because it only took him 5 minutes to whip these 2 up, and there was nobody else in the store. But whatever, so be it. I'll get the other 2 eventually, but for now at least we'll continue working on this machine without risk of having hot hydraulic oil blasted into your face. before I go and put the new one on there. Because this one, as you can see by my array of tools, including a torch, did not come off very well. So we're gonna heat this up here, and that should break this free, and then we'll be able to take that side off. Here comes the fun part. It does not fit on there. I took the other side off. Come on now. Huh. Well, anyway, got the right wrench here at least. Okay. Let's try and not knock you guys off. There we go. Oh, that one went a lot easier than the last one. You gotta make sure you put the O-ring in there and make sure it's seated. And then it's got these. Oh, it's got these clamps that fit in there like that. And that's what holds it tight to the mating surface, mounting surface, whatever you want to call it. So these mount on the back side of the cylinder here, so I'm going to try and get you a good angle on it. Here, as you can see, I cleaned that up already. Put that on. It's usually easiest to put the bottom one on first. I know you guys probably can't see right now, but got that. Once you get them started, you put your top clip on. This is all pretty self-explanatory, but in case you guys haven't worked with them. All right, let me put the ratchet for this because I didn't leave it out here. Okay, got that all mounted up. Now we can tighten down this one. And the reason you don't tighten this one down all the way right away is because if you got to rotate the line, might do a little bit of this. You can kind of take it, twist it, and it'll adjust how the line goes. So. And we got this one as a spare. This side over here, like I said, it doesn't look too bad, but you can see the coating starting to come off this one. that's no good. Yeah, that's no good at all. Look at this. 750 parts catalog. Okay, let me scroll through here a little bit and see what we can find. Right there is what we need. Number 10. AT46719 cylinder raise front is obsolete. Guess we're gonna have to try and repair that ourselves. Now, for the next part, fuel injector. Looks like this camera won't focus. AR88240. Let's see what we can find there. They were calling for snow, and they were right. Good thing I brought something in the shop to work on. So I have not done much of anything with this since I changed those hydraulic lines on the other side. These ones here on the other side. So yeah, we changed these lines, and then we discovered a rotted through line. I'm gonna try and braze that. To get it in here, I put a piece of rubber hose and clamped it because it is the down pressure side. So as long as you're not trying to push it into the ground and push on it, you're not gonna really have much pressure there. So yeah, I think we're gonna try and clean that up and braze that line. I've never really brazed anything before, so this could be interesting. And then we had the one injector it's leaking. So our friends over at Friday Parts came through again and sent us a new injector for it. So we'll get that swapped out too. But first, let's get this line fixed. And you gotta get all the oil off of it. So by the looks of this line, it goes down and up. I have a feeling there's gonna be oil trapped in there at least here. So I think we're gonna take this off here and use our oil extractor and actually suck the oil out of there. Because I really don't want to take this line off the machine. I feel like this line should come off a lot easier now. Except I gotta go the right way with the wrenches. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Much nicer. Bought it for actually servicing my wife's car. She's got an Audi and there's no drain plug, so you have to suck the oil out through the top. But I've used this thing quite a bit for random other stuff. So this is one of those things I'm thinking, like, how am I gonna get the oil out of that line without taking it off? And I'm like, well, I'm gonna stick this little oil vacuum down in there and suck the oil out of the tube. So let's get to it. Hopefully it shows up on camera, you guys can see it coming out of there. Oh yeah. Get as much out of there as we can. Just worried it's probably going to eventually start sucking it out of the dog tank. I don't think so. Yeah, I think we're an okay level there. I mean, we're there. Yeah, that should be well down into the bottom. I think we'll be okay with that. We'll leave it out though, just in case we gotta extract more. All right. I gotta clean that line up a little more. I guess that's it. Guess it's time to actually get the torch and heat this up and try and braise this thing. Get that heat up cherry red, and you just kind of work the braising rod in there and cover the area and make sure to cover both sides of it, and that's supposed to be that. So let's give her a whack. Probably shouldn't have this bucket of oil right below the work area. Probably not a good idea. This isn't going exactly as planned. I'm gonna have to fiddle with this some. Yeah, I didn't have any luck. I got it patched up a couple different times. I wasn't really happy with it. I see my dad braze before, and this wasn't going the same way. So I think what we're gonna try and do is we're just gonna get the whole little MIG welder out and just burn it in the best we can. Out here it's pretty solid. It's just real thin right in the center. So is it a little backwards? Yeah. Is it gonna work? It should. What other option do you really have here aside from trying to find someone that can make this line? Because called John Deere, they don't make them anymore, so you have to make this line custom or try to get a rubber line made with this T-fitting in it. And you know what? For the little bit of time this took me, I'm gonna take my chance on this. I got that looking pretty good now. All right, that cooled down. The thing is, we dropped our wrench. I think we dropped a big one too, so all right, whatever. Okay, I'll snug them down. That will be pretty much fixed. I think it should be good. I kind of want to test it, but I also don't want to smoke the shop out with starting the machine. So I think we're just going to leave that a mystery until we fix our injector. I think we got to take the hood off so we can even see what's going on in there. I mean, we probably don't have to take the hood off, but I feel like it's going to make our lives a little bit easier. Well, let me investigate this a little bit better. I think we're going to have to, but maybe not. See, this bracket here's got to come off. Not really sure what that does, other than support the radiator off the engine. Man, I think we're just going to take the hood off. I think it's going to make things a lot easier. This muffler was also obsolete. My dad built this. Kind of neat to see things like this. I mean, first glance you wouldn't really look at it, but then the more you look, it's like, oh yeah, this is all cut out by hand, and he rolled this around and he built this muffler. Things you gotta do when you can't get the parts. I'm not sure if I can do this. Still bolt it down somewhere? I don't think so. Heavy, it's just awkward. I think we gotta take the muffler off. this here's split anyway, so that might come apart easy. It's just 2 bolts. There's one here and there's one on the back side. And a whole lot of wiggling, and we should be able to just pull that muffler up out of there, because that's what's holding the hood on. The other thing is, since my dad did this, there's anti-seize on it. Because he anti-seized everything. So I was gonna take that bracket fully out, but I gotta take a bunch of other stuff off yet, and I got it out of the way enough that we should be able to change that injector. So let's get a good cleanup in there, and yeah, let's see what we can do. Yeah, can't tell that's a rot hole or a rub through hole from the little hold down clamp. Either way, it's not good. But yeah. Let's so this is our return line. We'll unhook that first. Get this little hold down clamp off. Everything's just so grimy in there. But yeah. What are the chances? Yeah, that'll undo that. This is a slippery slope here, though. These things seal up. Oh boy. Oh, wow. That is on there. All right. It's wild how much difference an impact gun makes. What we're pulling out is the fuel injector nozzle. Well, fuel injector, fuel nozzle. Everybody calls them a little bit something different, but what this does, this squirts the fuel into the top of the combustion chamber, and that's what makes it go. So this one here, they generally are just a kind of like a snug fit, and then that bolt you saw us just take out, that holds it down. It's called the hold down bolt. So we're just fighting right now a little bit of friction. I'm gonna blow all that brake parts cleaner out of there first, and then this injector is junk, so it doesn't really matter if we mess it up. So we'll get under there with a pry bar, and we'll we'll get her out of there. That injector does not want to come out. I can get it to rotate a little bit, but I can't pull it out now. So I'm going to weld this nut on there, weld a piece of threaded rod on there, and basically build a backwoods injector puller. So stay tuned. Can't really get a good weld on that. Mostly because there's no way to actually get a grinder in there to clean it up. So I had a thought. If I unplug the fuel shutoff solenoid, I can crank the engine over. Maybe compression might help push that out. It's a long shot, but worth a shot. Well, that was a struggle, but we got her. Welding this washer on there seemed to be the best way to do it because it gave me something to bite on. But man, you can just see how mangled this injector is. I don't even understand. It looks like maybe this carbon buildup is why it was so sticky. But geez. Well, anyway, good thing we got a new one. Injector's no good, and it's definitely not any good now since we mangled it getting out. Our friends over at FridayParts.com sent us a brand new one. So if you guys are working on heavy equipment, trucks, tractors, and need parts, give FridayParts.com a try. Let's get this injector installed. Everything cleaned up the best we could. Guess it's time to put this injector in. So the big thing to make sure is you got the little sealing washer up top. And make sure that there's no debris or junk on there. And it's pretty much as simple as it looks. But you know what? It's pretty snug. I think we're gonna put a little bit of grease on that. O-ring lube on there. Let's see if that goes a little better. Man, that's tight though. It's going. Just not quite as nice as I'd like it to. Not exactly the preferred method, but gets the job done. Important to not forget this bushing. It goes under the hold down. All right. Things tightened down. Let's see if she fires. Runs like a champ. I don't see any leaks. This water from me almost burning the whole place down. But yeah, nice and dry in there. Call that fixed. You just gotta button her all up. Buttoned up now. Did a lot of it off camera. I was messing around because the cut and fill lever up there. What that does, it extends and retracts that cylinder over there, and that'll take your blade and it'll lift one side or dig one side. That's for cutting and filling. So that was stuck. I was messing with that. I freed it up, so I decided to fire it up and try that. And well, I don't know if you can tell, there is hydraulic oil everywhere, and I'm not really sure where the line's broken. So I think we're going to tackle that before we put the hood back on. But the good news is our injector repair is good. And as far as I can tell, our hydraulic line welding repair here is also good. So that's 2 wins and 1 more problem we found. Not a big deal. From what I can tell, the line runs down here. It's a hard line to here. And then it goes rubber line up in front of the radiator to a bulkhead, and that's where it comes out to the grill. So I'm going to assume the 2 rubber lines that go from here to there are both bad. However, when you look back in there, there is a lot of wetness. And there's also a lot of dirt and junk laying in there. So I'm thinking it's possible that hard line is bad too. I really think we need to drop the belly pans on this. Don't want to do it, but I think it's gonna have to happen. So might as well dig right into it. Oh, this thing is heavy. It's actually not heavy. It's just awkward. Nicer it came off. Since we brutally mangled our exhaust, we're gonna need a temporary solution to keep the rain out. Need some scrap 4-inch pipe around. Turns out it'll work just right. Even got a flapper. Back in the shop. I got the filters for it. We had to take a little break from working on it. You guys didn't see a break, but I had to work on some other things, so it got kicked out of the shop, but it's back in here now. What's left to do? So this video is getting kind of long, and I have a ton more work to do on this thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to service it. It's already got a new fuel filter on it, but we got 2 new oil filters and some new oil. We're going to throw that in it, and then we're going to assess what else needs to be done on it. Off the top of my head, the blade tilt cylinders, or not the cylinders, the blade tilt lines. So the valve was stuck. My dad's buddy said he never used it, which I find kind of wild. I mean, that's kind of important on a dozer. I mean, to cut and fill, it's just really nice to have that feature. But anyway, he didn't use it, and it was very clear he didn't use it because the valve was seized up. I freed the valve up, but immediately after freeing the valve up, I think I have footage of it. I'm not sure. I don't know if I do actually. Immediately after freeing the valve up, it blew the lines. And not just rubber lines, hard steel lines. So we're going to change them hard lines out with rubber lines. We're going to make our own lines, which we'll get to that in a bit. And then the other thing is these 2 front lift cylinders leak pretty good. So we'll probably repack them. But that, I think, is going to be a different video. because I really want to get this thing in the dirt and start working with it, but it's very frozen outside, so this thing's probably got enough beef to it to cut through the frost, but maybe we'll wait for some warmer weather when we can actually put it to some work, or if we get a warm week where we can break through the frost and do some work. But anyway, like I said, that's enough rambling on. Let's get the oil changed. So one thing I forgot about, I shouldn't even say forgot about, I want to take this belly pan off because it's got to be full of dirt. And it looks really heavy. So I'm gonna have to figure out some way to get that off of there. Maybe put a strap around that side and a floor jack off this hook. Should be able to get it down the ground. That seems like a pretty solid setup. We got the strap up there and the floor jack on that center hook. We need to zip some bolts out of there and we'll let her down. Well, that's all the bolts out, I think. Oh yeah, there she goes. See, the Caterpillars have like hooks. Or at least track loaders. They got like hooks that go up in the top, so you only gotta lift one set at a time. This one is not the same. That's okay. Alright, I gotta go drop my strap. Actually, that strap's holding everything. Let's see if we can somehow get this to fully rest on the floor jack. And maybe we can just pull it out with a jack. Okay. Well, I'm not sure that's how that was supposed to go, but that's how it went. So we're stuck with it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright. Well, it's on the ground now. That's one beefy belly pan. It's a little over 1/4 inch. I don't know what exact thickness that is, but ain't 3/8. But anyway, glad we pulled it out because there's a lot of junk down in there. Years and years worth of junk build up. So we'll get that all cleaned out, and I used to have a transmission jack. That would work pretty good for this, but I don't know. I must have loaned it out to somebody and never got it back. That's why you don't loan your stuff out. But anyway, we'll get that cleaned out, and maybe we'll go buy another transmission jack or figure out some way to get this back up in there safely. But for now, that shiny yellow thing you see under there, that's our oil pan, and that's what we need to access to change the oil here. Plus that big old glob of hydraulic lines and stuff. Those are our hydraulic lines we need to repair. Okay. Well, that wasn't too bad. I was expecting that to be way tighter. Now we get to play the game. Is a 5-gallon bucket enough? Oh no. Now I could just look up oil capacity of this machine, but who wants to do that? You know, I have second thoughts here. I think I should get another bucket. I'll be right back. We got our secondary relief bucket. Let's let her rip. Ooh, she's toasty. Oh, good. Filling up quick. Then you got that second bucket, huh? Okay. Well, I've made worse messes. We thought we were in the clear. That blue bucket had a huge split in the side of it. And I didn't notice it until I pulled it out here and it started spewing oil everywhere. And man, what a mess that made. So I'm guessing my dad's buddy is pretty good with writing down maintenance. 8/17 of 2000 with 1,464 hours. That was almost 26 years ago, 25 and a half years ago. And every bit of 300 hours. So while I don't have a whole lot of hours on it, it's got some age to it, that's for sure. It changed the fuel filter design. The whole logo changed, actually. That's still the 90s logo. But, yeah. Same number. So we'll get them spun off there and put some new ones on. So you think these are going to crank off nice and easy, or they're going to be stuck? I'm going with the latter. But I've been surprised before. Not terrible. Get that one cracked. We'll get this one cracked here. Oh. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Huh. Not even any dribbles out of there. I'll take it. Should we push our luck and try to fill the filter up? Yeah, why not? Seems like a perfectly fine thing to do. Oh yeah, just make more of a mess. Okay. Put some oil around that seal so it don't stick. There's one. Fill the second one up. We'll spin that one on. What is this motor? 404. Okay. Get the filter numbers out. Okay. All right. Well, we got the drain plug in. Yeah, we got the drain plug in. And it's time to add some oil to this. I did let it drain overnight, so it's the next day now. Let's get some oil put in this thing. that somewhere we're not going to lose it. Okay, let's get a funnel for that. This actually might not be terrible to add oil to. Most of these things you can't put a big funnel on. It kind of sucks, but this one, maybe we'll get the big funnel on here. I don't want to speak too soon, but hoping this will work just nice. Of course. What I was gonna say is we took every bit of 5 gallons out of here, so this one here is not quite full. So we'll just dump all this in there and add it till we are good on the stick. It's not like a pickup or a truck engine where it's all right. Yeah, we're above the full mark, and I mean we did fill the filters up, but I think that'll be okay. All right, snug that back down. Well, I would normally start it and check the oil level again, but I don't want to start this thing in the shop right now because it fills the shop with smoke and it's cold outside, so we'll just check that after we move it out. But now we gotta clean this belly pan out. The one in the back was a mess. This one looks about similar, so this is what 30 years of dirt looks like in a belly pan. Wow, look at that. Look, it's a piece of our fuel injector that we broke off. Wow, that was a lot of junk. I don't know why I was thinking. I was expecting just to fill that box up, but I filled the bigger box and a smaller box up. It's not perfect, but it's way cleaner and probably a lot lighter than it was before, so. This pallet of frozen parts is all the side panels, all the side panels and extra covers. And in that iceberg there, it looks like there's a can of PB Blaster, and that's where all the bolts are. My bad, left it outside. But yeah, we're gonna let that thaw out in the shop here. And hopefully put them on the machine, because we don't need to access anything behind them panels anymore. So yeah, so we'll just stand that up right there, and hopefully it'll just kind of thaw out on its own. The rest of the stuff I'm not too worried about. Actually is a little bit above freezing out there right now, so. But yeah, I gotta go do some running, and hopefully some of this is thawed out by the time I get back. Well, that's still very frozen. But we got one bolt, some of a belt, I think, oh, hey, get another bolt. Nope, that one's stuck. I think we might just buy new hardware for this. Because even if this stuff does come out, let's spend. Oh, we got a bad fuel filter. This is that one that I tried putting on that leaked. But even if we do get this all unthawed, I'm going to spend a lot of time cleaning this up. And that's not the only thing we struck out on today. Went to Harbor Freight and they did not have the transmission jack that I wanted to buy. So I got to hit up another store. Supposedly they have it, but not going to make it there today. So I'll be back with you when I got some more hardware and hopefully a transmission jack. And we'll see how things go. Maybe we'll be able to, because I didn't show you guys this yet. So I've had this old Weatherhead hydraulic hose crimper for a few years now. I got it for free from a friend of mine. And I was missing, I have all the dies from like 1/4 inch up to, I think I have 1 inch or even, I might even have 1 1/4 inch. But I was missing half of the 1/2 inch die. And that's like the most common hose I make or would make is 1/2 inch. So I paid about $300 for a brand new set of crimper dies. I mean, I guess I can't really go wrong at having $300 invested. But then the other thing is I realized that this little air-powered hydraulic pump, it doesn't work right either. So I just went ahead and I bought, it's not here yet, but I bought a 120 volt electric hydraulic pump because this thing's so heavy. I'm just going to mount it in one spot, maybe build its own bench and set it up and it'll be there and I'll be able to make hydraulic hoses. I'm going to try and find an assortment kit of hoses or maybe buy some old shop out that's got a bunch of extra stuff. I found a couple on Marketplace. There is also a company locally that I might reach out to, see if they're interested in collaborating. But if not, I do have to get some stock in hydraulic hoses. Otherwise, it's not really worth having a hose maker if you don't have the fittings and hose here. But yeah, so hopefully we get some of these things acquired. And when I get more hardware and possibly stuff to make hoses, we'll be back to work on this thing. Well, got some hardware. It's all 3/8. You know, nothing real wild here. I think they're all 3/8 by 1 inch. Got some flat washers and nuts. Don't really need the nuts, but we'll need the flat washers. That is one nice thing. Everything on this is like, has a welded nut to the back of it. Don't mind the pup. She's got her ball thrower going again, so but anyway, yeah, there's a cover goes there. This all gets bolted down. I think there's a cover that goes there. I just have this cover set in here, but there's one for the other side too. But before I bolt this back on, I want to just lube all these linkages up again. And yeah, and then we'll start throwing bolts in. Also, all these floor pans are just sitting here. I think they have 1 bolt in each, so we'll put all new hardware on there and anti-seize it up, grease it up, whatever. Because I want to make it easy to work on this machine if I ever have to work on it again. Fortunately, all the bolts were out when I got to it, but I want to make it so the bolts come out next time if I have to work on it. So we just got some blaster here. It's kind of the go-to. Just kind of spray everything we can down. I don't know. I don't even know we're getting stuff, but it's not gonna hurt. Tool of choice, 3/8 impact, little wobble extension. Just plain silver anti-seize. I have copper, but this nothing here gets high heat, so we'll use this. Got our little 3/8 bolts here and some flat washers, which I'm just now realizing I think I may have gotten 7/16 washers instead of 3/8, but not really a big deal. It'll do the same. Try not to become the Tin Man here. It's inevitable. We're gonna get some on us, but I'm gonna try and minimize that. Oh, that's out the window. Maybe we'll just paint some of this stuff right on your hands when you open up the can, because it's gonna end up on you somehow. Then you guys use them 3/8 ratchets, the cordless ones. I've never had one because I never really liked an air ratchet, but I see a lot of guys using them. Are they worth it? I mean, something like this you'd probably use it on, but you know, I feel like I can fit my 3/8 impact in a lot more spots. And you kind of learn your tool, and you don't have to really ugga-dugga it too hard. Well, if you guys have any input on them, let me know, because I'd be curious to try one out. I was looking at the Milwaukee M12 ones because they seem a little smaller. I mean, I run all DeWalt tools, not really, I guess it's kind of by choice, but I don't know. My parents started me out with DeWalt tools when I was a kid, and I kind of just never switched. I mean, I have Milwaukee drills. I think I have a Milwaukee Sawzall, but none of it's cordless. I always liked them. They were always like super strong compared to anything else. But yeah, so let me know your input on that. Should be good. Probably should have put lock washers on there, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. If they start rattling out, we'll change it. I thought better of it. Grab some lock washers out of my bolt bin. At least for these floorboard ones. Because you're not really going to be able to tell that they're loose until the bolt falls out. The ones on the side panels, we'll let them go for now. Alright, this side's done. Well, you get the point, so I'm going to throw you on a time lapse and get the rest of it knocked out. So I have these lower side panels for both sides, but I think until I actually run the machine for a little bit, I'm not going to put them on. Especially this one, because I haven't run it in a while, I haven't run it much, and I haven't really gotten it hot. So if we happen to have a fuel leak, I don't really want to restrict myself from getting in there, see what's wrong, fixing it, and if for some reason we were to have a fire, be that much easier to put the fire out if we can fully access here. Plus, this starter gives me fits once in a while. Every once in a while. I mean, you saw we cleaned up that solenoid on top, but still, every once in a while, it doesn't like to work. So, I'd rather just leave it off for now. Alright, so I think we're going to cut this video here. We're getting kind of long. And we've done a ton of work to this, from pulling out of the weeds, getting it going, to making it a functional, driving, working machine, freeing everything up. You know, you guys just watched it all. So in the next video, we're gonna be doing some hydraulic work on this. Like, I repacked both front pistons for the blade lift. I'm hopefully getting set up with a hydraulic crimper. Like I said, I have the crimper. I just gotta get all the fittings and hose and everything, and I've got a plan for that. So we'll see if that materializes, and then we'll be able to replace them long lines that feed the blade tilt cylinder. And while we're at it, we might get the stuff to fix it, to replace the lines on the other side of the machine. They're not blown, but they're kind of sketchy, and I really don't want hydraulic oil shooting me in the face. So that'll be in the next video yet, and hopefully we'll get out and push some dirt with it. But the only other thing that I'm not really sure what I want to do with yet is this seat. I had a hard time finding an original one. I finally found one. The seat cushion and backrest is like $700 some odd, and then the armrests are about $130. And like that's just an incredible amount of money for a seat. I get it, a seat's important, you sit here, but the machine's a 77, so putting the original part back on and it lasted this long, I don't think it's that bad of an idea. But we'll have close to $1,000 wrapped up in the seat, and a lot of it's not right. So I don't know, there's some aftermarket stuff I was looking at, but I'm not sure if I want to go that route, because I don't want it to be cheesy. I want it to be right. But that's my decision to make, and my battle to play with myself, how much I want to spend on a seat. But so hope maybe that'll be in the next video too. But for right now, I think we're gonna call this one a wrap. I do want to say thank you again to Friday Parts. They got us that fuel injector out here pretty quickly, and you know, if you guys need any parts for your old equipment or even newer stuff, they've probably got it. FridayParts.com. But most importantly, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you tune in on the next one.